another conversation that triggers a lot of people, and that's gender. So what I see it is, if you repeat the same lie long enough, it becomes the truth. And that is a fact. But I also think it works with truth as well. As long as what you repeat falls within possibility, then the human mind does the rest. There's probably a 95% chance I can't flat out convince you that you're a duck. However, if I give you a science article that states that they've made a discovery that part of our DNA is an identical match to present-day ducks, then I can make you consider the notion that you're not only man, but duck as well. Since the human mind is capable of having a thought about a thought, we can consider deeper meaning in average information. And this just happens to be the information age. So, your mind may consider, I'm part duck. Should I identify with ducks? Should I identify myself as a duck? And the inner questions go on and on. That's about the best way I can explain my feelings about the argument of gender. Now, I will admit my new school research of gender is limited, and it's only because I have very little interest in any new scientific findings in that area. Why? Not because I want to be ignorant. It's because I personally feel new info on this subject just convolutes things even more than needed. But for a quick primer, sex means your genitals. Penis for males, vaginas for females. Gender is a little bit more of a gray area, which is exactly where you begin to mess with people's minds. When we begin to go on gray area subjects, that part of us that loves to think about thinking or having a thought about a thought, that shit goes into overdrive, making a mountain out of a molehill. Look, gender is simply how society sees you. If people see you as a man, they treat you like one, especially, and this is a big especially, if you identify as a man. Identifying is key here. Now, how you're treated depends on how much work you put into identifying as whatever you want to be. So if your sex is female, meaning you were born with a vagina, but you take the necessary steps to transition to male physically, and then you go into society identifying as male, not only do you look the part, you act the part, right? Then society is going to treat you that way. Keep in mind though, it's up to you to keep up your identity so you can get the respect you feel you deserve. Again, it's up to you to keep up your identity so you can get the respect you feel you deserve. Now, society has some very real issues with the subject of gender and transgender. My personal belief is many of these issues stem from biological and psychological factors. Before I explain, keep in mind that irregardless of lesbian and gay and transgender trending upward, the majority of men and women identify as straight. No matter how you may feel, the majority sets the tone. Majority rules. Sometimes that's good, sometimes it's bad. Depends on where society is at the time. Bottom line, I'm going with the majority in my example and reasoning here. So for instance, straight women are attracted to males and vice versa. The laws of attraction are primal, and these stem from the need to procreate. If you study the reptilian part of the brain, everything there is about surviving, self-preservation, fight or flight impulse, procreation. The urges for these things are there. Now, when anything is considered primal, the root word is prime, meaning top of the list of shit you had better do or else. To get in the way of a primal thing for a human is playing with fire. Think about when you're real horny and you're just about to have sex and then the phone rings. You'll probably want to throw that damn phone. Or if you're really hungry and you really want to eat and someone gets in your way, you'll probably want to move them or knock them the fuck out. My point is, as a primal urge, men and women take attraction real fucking serious. And there is a large portion of society that sees transgender people as unattractive or ugly. I believe that's part of the reason why so many are killed. I refuse to believe that transgender people are running up on people, forcing them to accept and love them. I believe they're mostly getting killed for simply being who they are, living their lives. Humans tend to revere things that are accepted as beautiful. For instance, unless you're a stalker, no one tries to kill the sexiest man or woman from People magazine each year. Roses, flowers. Unless you're allergic or a destructive kid, everyone loves flowers. No one tries to kill him. They say beauty is in the eye of the beholder. This is true. But everyday observation also states that there is such a thing as universal appeal. Facts are, a lot of people can find a person sexy, while alternatively, a lot of people can find someone unattractive. Majority rules, and they affect everyone else. My opinion is that transgenders are simply not regarded as beautiful by mainstream society because they fuck with the primal male and female laws of attraction for most. Keep in mind that there are plenty of people attracted to transgender, but currently it's very taboo for those people to admit to it. So if the majority of folks secretly like transgender, they ain't acting like it. But trust me, I've lived long enough to see that more people admit to it than they used to. Shit, in the 70s, oh man, it was bad times for a transgender man. Real bad. It was like, oh man. Anyway, psychologically, let's hit that. I feel the problem society has with transgender and even questioning gender itself is because it opens up a can of confusion worms. I mean, it's not confusing to me, but to everyone else, the questions are all over the place. Just what makes a man a man? The short answer would be androgens like testosterone. What makes a woman anymore? The short answer would be estrogen. Now, before y'all think I oversimplified it, when men want to transition to female, they take female hormones to become more feminine. When women want to transition to males, they take male hormones. Vaginas and dicks are not everything that makes a man or women women. If I got my dick cut off in an accident, sure, I'm dickless, but I'm still a man, even though I'm born that way. With the hormones to match, what's more important is that I identify as a man, that I feel like a man, and not someone who feels like a piece of shit because I don't have a dick. There's plenty of breast cancer survivors who had to have double mastectomies and go through not feeling like a woman anymore. It's rough to say the least, but there's more to this than sex organs lost. But the hormones we have as male and female are extremely important as parts to make the whole. As a man, I can attest that testosterone does not just make you grow more hair and strength. It affects your drive, your mental state, how you react to problems. It affects you in ways you have to experience as a woman transitioning to a man to understand. Other questions in regard to gender. What should I call my child? People take their children real serious in every way, so this is a major question. Also, if gender is such a question, then will we eventually have any gender at all? No one likes labels, but we should all choose a ground to stand on, correct? If we don't choose, just where is the trust or stability in us as a society? Will we all just be pansexuals? And even then, where are the boundaries? Shouldn't there be boundaries? Unanswered questions cause confusion. Confusion is not a stable mind state, and fear is right there. You see? What makes it worse is you're going to get different answers to those deep questions. That's why the question of gender is such a topic. Folks are thinking ahead because they feel they're so smart now, yet they can't solve present day problems. The other issue of the gender question is that more people actually want to identify as different, even though physiologically you already are. I'm like, why do you need to shout it to the world? Just be what you feel you were meant to be. People just gonna have to deal. But it's scary when you're persecuted for being different. Gender. A lot of older folks like myself look at this whole questioning gender thing as folks overthinking what's very obvious. I'm in 90% agreement. This is a generation with tons of data at their fingertips, literally. If you guys are reading all of the info fed to you on a daily basis, including gender and new science behind it, well, y'all literally have a lot to think about, which is why you're overthinking the shit out of gender. You've no real time to process the info that you're being fed. Now, maybe it's because I'm black and I'm born with the skin that has historically caused so many problems for my people. But I know how tough it is to be what you were born to be. Facts are, no one asks to be born, period. But once you're here for however long that's going to be, from seconds to years. You make the best out of the time you have, and you try to navigate every bad situation as best you can. You gotta deal with a lot of shit just being born different. You gotta defend not only your life, but your identity. I am the color brown. I did not create the term black man or colored. That's some social shit that has led to systemic classism and racism that I have to fight against on a daily in some way, shape, or form. Now, technically, we are all mixed. I can identify as whatever is in my blood. White, Asian, Russian, whatever. That's my right. And as long as it's in my DNA, I have the truth to back up my identity. Because you don't want to base your identity on a lie. Ever. But I identify as a black man, even though I'm more than my skin color. And I love being black. No one is going to bully me into calling myself anything else. Because that's my love and that's my pride. My brown skin can cause fear and that can cost me my life. But from the moment I understood myself, I chose this path. Now, after saying all that and seeing the accompanying pictures, if you're a woman who identifies as a man, then my words may resonate with you. If you're a man identifying as a woman, my words may resonate with you. If you are a transgender, then my words may resonate. And I have to say this because I care about real love in relationships. No lies. I've seen a select few men and women of transgender who refuse to acknowledge or flat out forget what sex they were born in. Like the beauty of childbirth is negligible or best buried. You know, that comes across as a kind of shame, worse than any kind of body shaming I've seen or read about. Don't forget what got you to being who you are now. I have not seen one instance in life where it's good to forget where you come from. Maybe you all have, but I haven't. Even if you come from the worst circumstance, to try to bury it or not acknowledge it always leads to some shit you deal with later. Love is hard as it is. When you find someone you dig and they ask questions, don't run away from any question that shows who you are. That's not a solid relationship foundation. If you're going to be loud and proud, then don't shut up when it's convenient. Take that as you will. I stand by it because the facts are that the path is tough. No matter how you want to live your life, there's always someone opposed to it. Even if you try to be the best person and morally righteous, you may find some love along the way and good times. But understand that living your life makes society see just who you are. It's brave, and people admire bravery because a lot of them wish they could do it. Now, lastly, I want to go out the box for a second, and this is for anyone: LGBTQ, nerd, disabled, disfigured, the laughed at, the oppressed. Ethnicity doesn't even matter with what I'm about to say. If you can just imagine yourself as someone non-human, maybe an animal, or maybe someone from another planet, come on, you can do it. Especially if you're like me and you never really had a sense of fitting in with most people. Imagine watching these human beings, these creatures who can be convinced to kill each other for someone else's agenda, who can love those who don't even love them back in shitty relationships. These humans who can do so much good and yet do so much bad. These humans who could rationalize anything from torture to terrorism, even cannibalism, as long as it gets them to another day. Look at these same human beings who can have a thought about a thought, even the ability of abstract thinking, which is just thinking of things higher than themselves. If these human beings can do all of that, then they're capable of pretty much anything within their vast power of reasoning. Again, they can rationalize anything. So they're just going to have to learn to rationalize with who you are. That's just the way it's going to have to be. The facts are you're important. More important than those who make you feel like shit for being who you are. People are attracted to that. That's beauty to them. Understand that. That's real talk. And that is why there are those out there who will try to make your life a living hell, or make fun of you, or try to kill you. They want to make sure that your life is ugly and overly difficult, so no one will want to be like you. It's not about pushing who you are on people. It should never be that. It's about being who you are and defending your right to live. A human right, not a wrong. I am a black man, and I'm proud. The question you have to ask yourself is, what are you?